Everyone. So recently, while working with a client who did not have a services hub, I created this simple make automation which directly captures rating and then feeds all of this data into HubSpot. So basically, this is a kind of an email which you receive. If I give a poor rating over here, it will then take me to a form which will ask me about improvements. And if I give a good rating, then it asks me to spread the word and your LinkedIn profile or anywhere else. So this is the make scenario which I've created, and this is how it goes. So to start off here, I created a custom webhook over here, and if you this is like the webhook ID which gets created. And then all I did was I created this email on HubSpot. I gave it the four ratings. You could add numbers as well if you want over here. And then for each emoji, if you see over here, I included this particular URL over here. Now, one more important thing to note over here is if I edit this particular thing and if I move to the end of this particular webhook, at the end of the webhook, this is what I've added RTG1 and CID. So, what RTG basically means is the rating. So, I've associated a rating with each of these emojis and it keeps on increasing. So, for the poorest one, for the angry emoji, it's a one rating. And because you also want to capture the customer ID or who was the customer who filled this particular survey, also tag the contact ID to it. So I have done this for all of these. So for this it is one, this it's two, for this over here it's three, and for here it's five. Like for the best rating, it's five. So if we first try to see this in action, what happens is if I run this over here, and now if I say I was partially satisfied and I gave it a three rating, I could just add in this needs improvement and submit. Okay, so what this does is after you fill in, I've created a list over here called the sign up score. And now, if you see, this is the name of the contact who filled it. We've captured the feedback also, and the rating also gets captured. So you do not need to save all of this into a separate Google Sheet and then try and import it. All of this is something which is captured back into HubSpot. So now we'll have a look as to how I created this. So like I said, this I created a webhook module over here, and at the end of it, I gave the ratings and the customer ID for proper mapping. Once this webhook gets triggered, and this is triggered whenever you click any one of those emoji ratings, it will then move on to HubSpot, and it will update the rating for this. Whatever rating which you give, it will update that. And then what I've done is because I wanted all of the data to remain in HubSpot itself, I added a get a contact module. And over here, if you see, so because we want all of this data inside of HubSpot, and for that, we would want to identify the contact which filled in this particular survey. So I've added a get a contact module over here, which will help me identify the email ID of this particular contact who filled out this survey. And then it moves on to the next module, which is add contact to a list, which is the sign up score list. So over here, if you see the list ID, I've added sign up score so that contact will automatically get added to this particular list. And then what happens is, so like I mentioned at the beginning, all of those four emojis have a rating attached to it from one to five. So now what I want to do is, if the rating is three or less than three, I would want them to let me know what can improve. And if it's more than three, I would want them to spread the word or give a testimonial or give me like a G2 rating or a Gartner Peer Insight rating. So there are these two scenarios. So over here as well, I added a router. How the router works is, if I click over here, this is what I've set. If it is less than or equal to three, it would get routed to this particular webhook. And over here, if the rating over here, like which we captured, is more than three, it would get routed to this particular webhook. And what happens in this webhook is it's a 303 status, which means it will redirect it to a thank you page. This is the thank you page which I've created. It's like just a mock page, but yeah, you could do this. So over here, if you see in the second part, this is a bit tricky part. Over here, if it is less than three, I have asked it to redirect it to this particular form, this form to be precise. But if you see over here, at the end of the form, I've added this particular text, which is email is equal to properties email. Now, this will do is the feedback which is captured over here, it will map it exactly to the contact who has actually filled in this particular form. So over here, if you see, this is the reason why this get contact was important, because over here we captured the email of the contact who filled in this survey. So now, whenever someone fills in this, even the feedback which they give will get captured back into HubSpot. And this is how it is. This is how it works. And you can create like your own survey system, even if you don't have a services up, with this simple make automation. If you want a JSON file for this, or if you have any doubt, or if you want me to implement this particular system for you, feel free to DM me. Would love to help out. Thank you.